Into episode 8 now for the Daily Dozen, spotlighting the players to watch in Arizona high school football going into the 2014 season. That's Jason Jewell. I'm Jared Cohen. Normally we bring you the roundup. This time around, though, just focusing on the football field. Jason, get us started with episode number 8.
One of my favorite corners in the state, way out in surprise at Valley Vista High School, Mundo McCoy. I first saw him last year as a junior playing against North Canton High School in Brino, Georgia. I thought he did a great job in that game, and that's when I pegged him as a Division I prospect. Yet he has no Division I offers at this time, but I think they're certainly going to come. Mundo is a lockdown corner.
Plus, he has one of the best names in the state, Mundo McCoy. That's a broadcaster's dream right there. My first player, Luke McDermott, quarterback out at Fountain Hills High School. Very under-the-radar prospect at quarterback. 2,600 yards passing last year, 26 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Does a great job under center at Fountain Hills and looks to make a big impact this season.
Mountain Ridge and head coach Bobby Green did a great job developing linebackers, and they have another great one there in Billy McGowan. Billy is just a tackling machine, already committed to Northern Arizona, and he is a leader on their defense.
Ben McKeon at Scottsdale Prep. Now, Matt Munsell over the last 2 seasons has been amongst the state leaders in receiving yards. This is his replacement. McKeon is the guy that's taken over for Munsell. Very talented on the outside, just like Munsell was over the last few years. And Scottsdale Prep looks to continue to have these great weapons on the outside to get them to try to get to another state championship game.
We all know that I like offensive linemen, and Stephen Miller from Gilbert High is one of the best in the state. Plays left tackle, committed to Arizona State right now. He's 6'5" and 295 pounds, not fat at all, and I think his upside is just tremendous. He ended up having 10 Division I offers before he committed to the Sun Devils, and I think the Sun Devils are getting a great one.
Deer Valley High School came out of nowhere as one of the surprise Cinderella teams to the state playoffs. A lot of it was their quarterback, Devin Palomino, and his skills, but also what they do on the defensive line. And Marquette Mitchell is one of 3 returning starters on the defensive line for the Deer Valley Nighthawks this season. He joins Brian Calhoun, is another one of the players that returns as a starter. But Mitchell is a dynamic player, very strong in the trenches, and another reason why this Deer Valley defense is going to be a force to be reckoned with this season.
We talked about in our last episode how many athletes Chandler High has, and their backup quarterback, Mason Moran, already has an offer from Boston College. But it's as an athlete because he started in their secondary last year, and he is a very good safety. Only going to be a junior, I mentioned, has an offer from Boston College. Once Bryce Perkins leaves and graduates and goes to Arizona State, Moran is going to take over and start that senior season. I expect big things for him then. But this year, look to him as being a lockdown safety in that Chandler Wolves secondary.
A different situation here, a different scenario. I'm going to mention next Tarek and Taryn Morrison, the twins out at Desert Ridge High School. Tarek being the quarterback, Taryn being the running back. Taryn was one of the state's leading rushers. In fact, he was the state's leading rusher last season, had a breakout year as a junior. However, there are questions regarding their eligibility for the upcoming season. Desert Ridge is already a contender as one of the top teams in Division I, but with these 2 added, they become one of the top 2 teams in Division I because these are 2 of the top athletes in the state. But yet again, we don't know what the status is and if they will play in the upcoming season.
I personally like small school football players that do everything, and Heath Motes out of Thatcher High School is one of those players. Plays quarterback, he plays in the secondary, he's a great returner, just a great athlete, and that's what you're supposed to do. If you want to get college attention, you got to dominate at the small school level, and that's exactly what Motes did last season.
Poston Butte, Paul Morrow, first year as the head coach, coaching now in the Valley after all the time up in Blue Ridge where he won so many state championships. He's got a stud linebacker on the defensive side of the football that's going to be one of the leaders in the year 1 under Coach Morrow. Chris Musselman, coming off a season with 117 tackles, is back. He picked up an offer from Air Force since we've seen him last and will be the leader on a defense that looks to really turn some heads, like I said, in year 1 under Coach Morrow.
Saguaro head coach Jason Mons got an early Christmas present when cornerback Byron Murphy showed up on his doorstep. Left Marco Zaniza at Saguaro, only a junior, and already has multiple BCS offers. Ohio State, Texas A&M, both in-state schools, Wisconsin, just to name a few schools. And he is going to get more. He's going to be a 4-star prospect with Scout.com, and he is big time. He is a lockdown corner, tall, long, lanky, exactly what you're looking for. Coach Mons also likes him as a receiver. He's going to fill in for what JT Nettleton did last year in the Saguaro offense.
And the final player to mention on this episode of the Daily Dozen is no relation, Connor Murphy, who he is in relation to. Trent Murphy, the great player out of Brophy, then at Stanford, now a second-round pick to the Washington Redskins. Younger brother Connor Murphy waiting in the wings. His dad has told me that he could be just as big, if not stronger, than Trent was at this point in his career. Connor Murphy looks to have a big breakout junior season on the defensive line and maybe a little bit on the offensive line as well for Brophy this season. That's it for Episode 8 of the Daily Dozen. Jason Jewell, Jared Cohen. Episode 9 coming up. Continue to stick with us. More players to spotlight as the 2014 season is just weeks away.